everyone, and welcome to our live webinar, Meeting Customer Expectations in Oversized Delivery. I'm Sasha, and I'm joined by John Berg, Head of Product Marketing, who will be leading the webinar today. During the webinar, you can submit questions at any time. At the end of the webinar, we will have a short Q&A and we'll answer any questions that you may have. John, over to you.
Thanks for the warm intro. So today we're going to talk about oversized deliveries, big and bulky deliveries, and a bit on white glove deliveries as well. And we're going to start by talking about what are the new customer expectations. We're going to talk about what are the challenges that those that offer these deliveries are facing. And finally, we're going to look at some strategies and implementations for how different customers and different vendors have approached this challenge. So we start, we've all heard of the age of Amazon. And the key here is not to look at Amazon as a competitor, but rather it's to look at Amazon as how has customer expectations changed now that we have these innovators like Amazon and Alibaba and Uber in our markets. So first of all, we expect unparalleled convenience. When we speak with shoppers, we hear that the number one reason that they choose the merchant, the retailer, the shipper that they're going to work with is because of cost, convenience, and speed. And these three really go together. The number one reason why people choose to shop online in particular, or why they choose e-commerce, is because it's convenient. The store is always in my pocket as long as I have a phone on me. The second reason, the second concern really in the age of Amazon is the cost of delivery. Customers have been trained by innovators like Amazon and Uber to expect very affordable deliveries with remarkable speed. Now, even though Amazon, Uber, or Alibaba may not be in your market yet offering rapid delivery of oversized items, that doesn't mean that customers don't have that expectation. So in the age of Amazon, to put it another way, customers expect more. They expect an amazing shopping as well as a buying experience. When they go to check out, they expect to know how much their delivery is going to cost. They want to be able to schedule what time that delivery is going to happen. They want more control over the delivery options available to them. This doesn't mean they want to be overwhelmed with 30 different options, but they want options that fit their lifestyle and their needs. Now, remember, this works in both a B2B and a B2C context. In a B2C context, oversized deliveries are generally attended deliveries. Now that means that the customer has to be present, or the consignee has to be present to sign for that delivery, to open the door, as well as to supervise any service that needs to happen and to sign for that delivery. That means that they want a degree of control around when and how that's going to happen. They want transparency into their delivery timing. We've all been there, when you wait at home for the cable guy to arrive, or that service technician, or that delivery, and you're taking a morning off of work, you're going to come in a couple hours late, and you're now an hour into their delivery window and they haven't arrived. And we all know what we do. We pick up the phone and we start calling, and we start calling with regularity, and that represents a significant cost to the business. So really, customers expect transparency. They expect to know where their package is, who their delivery person is, and they want a more reasonable delivery window. If you know the driver will be at my house in about 45 minutes, tell me that they'll be there in about 45 minutes so I don't sit there waiting at the door. If you know that the driver will be there in 5 minutes, notify me so I can make sure that I'm ready for them. And all this really comes down to convenience. Customers and businesses are increasingly choosing where they want to shop, and how they want to make their purchases, because it's based on what's going to work best for them. It's not just about the price of the merchandise, it's about how it's delivered. In turn, this means that the businesses that service these deliveries need to offer more. They need to offer more and better delivery options. In order to offer the speed and convenience at the right cost, they need to have really well optimized business models and operations. When we're looking at seasonal items, or let's say catering deliveries, for example, in the food space, or large grocery deliveries, these often have geo and peak coverage, peak times that need to be properly adapted and covered. So you want to make sure that you can meet those delivery expectations even when you're on you're on the eve of a national holiday. And many customers are ordering because you have those discounts, or during the busy holiday season in December. Ultimately, to offer all of this, businesses really need better visibility in real time over where all of their deliveries stand, over where their inventory is, and over each node in their supply chain. Now, this may sound like a lot, but at the end of the day, if you want to meet those customer expectations, you need to find ways, to get creative, to use technology to be able to do more to meet those customer expectations. At the same time, if you are a fleet or a 3PL or carrier and you're performing those oversized deliveries, you need to be able to offer better services, more services, enhanced convenience to your businesses, to your customers and consumers. You want to be offering those retailers, healthcare companies, and shippers that convenience to their customers that they need in order to stay relevant, in order to stay meaningful, to build their brand and to build those relationships in the age of Amazon. The unfortunate reality today, and there are many studies behind this and there are many data points, is that oversized deliveries are often inefficient and rarely cost effective. Now, let's take a look, let's think about for a moment the average order life cycle for an oversized delivery. An oversized delivery, often that merchandise isn't even in the warehouse yet. So when the customer purchases, or the end consumer purchases an item from a retailer or a shipper, they may need to wait whatever period of time it is for the right inventory to be in the right place. At that point, generally for oversized deliveries, someone will have to pick up the phone and call the customer to find out when they're available. And they may have standard delivery windows and premium delivery windows and super premium delivery windows. If somebody's purchasing a washing machine or an oven, they may need that, today. If someone's a busy mother and of a large household and their washing machine or oven goes, they want that delivery as soon as possible. And they're going to be willing to pay and to go to the right business that can offer them that level of convenience and speed. However, when it comes time to actually schedule those deliveries, especially when it's less rapid, there are a number of inefficiencies and delays. For example, just looking at the one that we've pointed to here, it takes an average of 4.5 days for delivery fleets or carriers to schedule a delivery with the end recipient. Okay, this is generally the case where it's not same day or next day, but it's a multi-day delivery that's being facilitated through remote inventory. Now, all of that time that it's sitting in the warehouse is expensive. You're paying for warehouse space, and the customer is waiting. At the same time, anytime a delivery fails, it costs the business an average of an additional $69 to re-deliver that package, to send it out a second time. And let's remember, at an approximate cost of about $500 per truck roll, these costs can quickly escalate. So we're talking about very people power intensive processes. We're talking about dispatchers manually trying to contact and call every customer individually for each delivery, as well as a number of other components that we're going to explore now. So the challenges here towards getting these deliveries to be as efficient and optimized as they can be, to be as convenient for the customer and cost effective for your business as they can be, are many. For example, oversized deliveries generally have a significant amount of time on site. Now, this could be unloading large merchandise at a loading bay, where the time may only be a few minutes. However, the truck may have to wait for up to a few hours, and in some cases days, in order for that loading bay to be available. So the time on site is a critical factor in B2B. In the B2C world, time on site can include how long does it take to find parking? Does the building have an elevator? How is the traffic in that area? Are there white glove services? So will they be delivering appliances or a couch or a mattress into the domicile, or will they be stopping at the doorway? If they're delivering it into the home, are they also taking back an old mattress or an old item in return? Often that's legally required. So if they're doing any kind of installation or service on site together with this oversized delivery, this all adds to your time on site. And we found that many businesses are using either insufficient buffering or they're overusing buffers in order to compensate for their lack of insight and ability to properly manage their time on site. The next is delivery windows. Customers, recipients, whether they're B2B or B2C, don't want to spend all day waiting for your deliveries to arrive. Now, the smaller the delivery window is, the easier it usually is for the end recipient, whether that's a business or an end consumer, to make sure that they're available at that time. But the cost to the business in order to meet these really tight SLAs can be very, very expensive. So ideally, we want to find the right balance between offering convenient and specific delivery windows. Another added factor we need to think about in terms of oversized or big and bulky deliveries is the size and order and weight of the order. So if somebody's, each truck can only be so large, each vehicle that's doing these deliveries can only accommodate a certain weight capacity, and often within the route itself, there may be size and weight limitations that need to be taken into account. So making sure that all of these different considerations are taken into account together and optimizing all of them can be very difficult. To look at just two more, and again, there are many, many more, this is just a sampling. Often there are regulatory restrictions over how much time a driver can spend in transit in a given day, as well as when during the day and how many hours during the day or what amount of time during each day they have of break time. Now, if a driver has flexibility to take their hour of break time at any point during the day, that makes offering a narrow delivery window nearly impossible, especially during the second half of the day. You know, when somebody's working with outsourced fleets or 3PLs, many of these considerations must also be taken into account. And lastly, we have to consider the driver's skills. Not all drivers, and here we're using drivers, it's also staff, are licensed to operate all sizes of vehicles or to install every type of appliance or to lift a certain amount of weight. So, or speak a specific language, often especially in Europe or in some areas even of the US, you have drivers that maybe have a specific skill and that they speak a certain number of languages, or they can certify specific appliances that they were installed properly and sell those warranties. Now, every one of these considerations needs to be taken into account in order to offer the optimal customer experience while maintaining your cost efficiency. Now, I know that we're covering a lot, and I see we have a couple of people asking questions. I do want to invite you to share any questions that you have, and we'll be happy to answer as many of them as we can at the end of this webinar. Those that we can't get to during the webinar itself, we will reach out to you individually and make sure that we cover all of the questions that we receive. Thank you for asking. So the way that we look at this is we like to say when you digitize and connect every node of your supply chain, right? When we make sure that the different warehouses from the first mile to the middle mile and the different fleets and retail staff and warehouse staging teams and customers are all connected in a digital manner, then the biggest challenges, which are automation and optimization, become a data game. Okay, so once we have all of the different players and the different nodes connected on a digital platform, then the question is, how do we apply the right algorithm and business logic, the right rules and flows in order to make sure that everything operates as seamlessly and effortlessly as possible? We call this delivery orchestration. So for example, if we look at 5 possible nodes, we want to make sure that we have the right fleets delivering to the right orders to the right customers, to make sure that we have the right inventory in the right place, that it's being picked from the right store or warehouse. Now, every one of these different nodes could, in theory, slow down a delivery or dramatically increase costs. Our goal as a delivery orchestration platform is to make sure that all of the different nodes are connected, that all of them are optimized, that we have the centralized brain that allows, that enables these deliveries at scale and sustainably. So we look at this really as 2 overall buckets. On the one hand, we want to make sure that we are operationally efficient. And that's really important as it relates to not only speed, but managing costs. Slow processes are often manual processes and expensive processes. At the same time, in order to offer the right customer experience, here we're showing a tracking screen, but it's not just about the tracking. To offer the right cost of delivery, delivery windows, delivery scheduling without having to annoy the customer, to offer that amazing customer experience, that means that your operations need to be working efficiently and in lockstep with one another. So now we're going to look at a sample delivery flow, and we're going to look at how this delivery orchestration approach can help. So to start off, we're going to look at a sample retail delivery flow. Now this is based on an actual customer that uses the Bring platform. But the idea here is that an order on the upper right corner, an order can come in from a website, from the mobile app, it can come in from retail, it doesn't really matter. Now that order is synced into this SaaS platform. It sits in the cloud. It's a technology platform that integrates seamlessly with every node. So now that we have these connections, we can manage where should that order be picked from. Now that cloud is integrated with the retail locations, so we know what inventory is available at retail, as well as the different warehouses and distribution centers. So we know, and fulfillment centers, what's available, where's the correct inventory that's available to fulfill this. Now in this example, they're using largely an in-house fleet, though they do a bit of outsourcing. And the hub, again, this cloud platform, this orchestration platform can make sure that based on the customer's expectations at the time of checkout, we have the right fleet assigned, delivering along the right route, with the right delivery windows at the right price for those end customers. Now, within this orchestration platform, we have all of the business logic that's necessary to orchestrate and streamline and optimize both the efficiency and the customer experience. So for example, because these deliveries are happening in a region where by law, drivers have to have at least an hour of break time, that break time is already taken into account during their delivery routes, and it's scheduled so that we can offer customers in the later half of the day the same delivery windows as those we can offer in the first half of the day. Now, as a result of digitizing, connecting, optimizing, and automating their delivery operations, they saw a jump from about 80% to 93% on-time delivery. At the same time, they went from their premium delivery windows being a 4-hour window to a 2-hour delivery window, which means it's more convenient for the customer. At the same time as they were doing that, they were able to do that while improving their on-time delivery rate. Now, because the customer was digitally connected to their deliveries, they were able to connect feedback on their delivery experience at a rate of 2 times higher than the traditional feedback that they were able to receive from phone surveys and email follow-up. That means that they can understand what works and what doesn't work in real time and make those changes as needed. Now, this entire complex delivery flow, and this is delivering appliances, with installation, with return logistics for recycling, took a total of 20 minutes to optimize on a daily basis for their next day delivery operations. Previously, this took a team of dispatchers a few hours, and they were able to expand their delivery coverage from major cities to 97% of the geographies within their target range. In a different use case, and again, this is working more with the fleets, the carriers, the providers. Here's an example of how they're able to, in this example, the orders can come in from multiple sources. It can be from multiple retailers, external sources, or internally created work orders that, again, will sync with the business system to understand what drivers are available, what trucks are available, what are their certifications, who's on vacation, and they can identify the ideal locations from first mile to middle mile to last mile where the inventory is available. At that point, the right fleet can be engaged in order to deliver it in the most efficient manner possible in terms of price to the end customer, visibility, delivery windows, All of those considerations are taken into account, and either an internal fleet or a subcontracted fleet will pick up this order to deliver it to that end customer. So in this example, they have 7 fleets, all operating as if they are an internal fleet. So the end customer has the same experience. They're seeing over 99% on-time delivery, and most importantly, they're able to optimize in real time. So when they see that they don't have enough resources for the afternoon, they can make sure that they're effectively managing their subcontractors. And everything here is really dynamic and agile. What's most remarkable about this is that they now have their dispatchers, rather than manually assigning all of these routes, rather than seeing an average of a 2-year training and onboarding period, they have dispatchers that are now only managing exceptions. So they're far more efficient. They've been able to clear out their backlog of orders that they weren't able to get to. And they're far more efficient in everything that they do now. So let's take a look at what this could mean for anybody that's actually doing these oversized deliveries. So to start, from the moment that a customer creates an order, everything is synchronized and digitized. So if the customer wants, or if the retailer or shipper wants to offer the ability to schedule a delivery during checkout, that's possible. If not, the customer can receive an SMS, a text message, an email notification, whatever means of communications works best for the delivery provider or the shipper. And all of this can be digitized. So if you want to have dispatchers calling people, they now have a dashboard that they can work in. If you prefer that the customer schedules it, the recipient, consignee schedules this on their own, then they can, through a simple digital interaction, a web-based interaction, they can schedule what delivery times work for them. By the way, this also means that if somebody's not home or they're not going to be available, they can easily reschedule without needing to disrupt all of your other delivery operations. Now, in the same way that customers can, or recipients or consignees can easily schedule when they would like to receive their deliveries, as well as provide specific delivery instructions, the intelligent automated dispatch will automatically identify which driver, based on their skills and certifications, as well as vehicles based on their capacity and capabilities, are best suited for each job. So all of that confusion in terms of how do I know that I have the right driver or team or crew with the right vehicle, that speak the right languages, that have the right certifications, delivering the right item to the right customer, is fully automated. Now, often onboarding drivers, again, can take 3 to 6 months. By offering intelligent driver flows through mobile devices, drivers can be easily walked through every step of a delivery flow. Here you see somebody scanning an item to initiate a proof of delivery. If they're installing, they can be walked through step by step on an installation. At the same time, if an item is damaged, they can be walked through how to return the item. They can collect proof of delivery. They can issue a refund if needed, because everything is digitized and everything is connected. If they need to show proof of installation, or if you want to have them upsell a warranty, all of this is available right from their driver app. Again, because the same systems, all nodes are fully connected, and you have instant real-time access to the drivers while they're on the ground. Now, the most exciting part of this, to me, as someone that's been in this industry, is the power of the data and the machine learning that you get from this. By understanding each step, by measuring what works and what doesn't, by putting the right KPIs against each team and looking at it on both the macro and micro level, the insights are incredible. And when we start to apply machine learning, and even, if I can use the word, artificial intelligence to this, we're starting to see incredible insights and really powerful optimizations and impact to the business and their performance. Now, at the beginning of the presentation, we started off by saying that it's all about the customer experience. Customers expect more, therefore businesses need to deliver more and better, and therefore both of them need their carriers and delivery providers to do a better job. We showed an example before of a tracking screen. This is an example of a feedback screen. Customers know these days, recipients, whether it's B2B or B2C, we've all taken an Uber or a Lyft. We know what it's like to see your driver's face, to be able to contact your driver, to know exactly when they're going to arrive. And we're used to providing that feedback immediately after this experience. And when we can offer this fully synchronized, fully orchestrated experience, and not only helps us as businesses better deliver to our customers, to delight our customers, to do so more efficiently and more cost effectively, but helps us earn the trust of those customers, where they know that they're going to have a consistently remarkable experience and pleasant experience every time they interact with you. So we're going to go through a few key takeaways, and then we're going to jump into the questions. The first is the game has changed. What that means is that businesses and their delivery partners must adapt to the new customers' expectations in order to remain relevant, in order to remain viable. And by the way, it's not just about the negativity here of remaining relevant, but it's about capturing new market share and growing your business. If we want to grow, we need to be there for our customers. We need to meet their expectations. Now, because oversized delivery is complicated, meeting those expectations requires that we can synchronize and automate and optimize every node in our supply chain, and that requires advanced technology. This is not technology for technology's sake. The right technology for you is one that can increase your delivery efficiency, your delivery capacity, and improve your customer experience. Now, we spoke about having a platform-based approach. While route optimization, for example, is a great node or a great point solution that can help, the most effective solution is one that allows you to see the big picture. In order to get that level of adaptability, flexibility at scale, enterprises need a platform that allows them to see both the big picture and the little picture. Our last key takeaway is to please, 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 as you are looking at solutions, as you're looking at the market, as you're looking at how you want to adapt and respond, plan for success. Anticipate that you're going to grow. That means looking at your data. Use every opportunity as an opportunity to deploy fast, iterate fast, and grow. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Before we sign off, we do have a few minutes and we will take go over a bit. I want to take a couple questions from the audience. Sasha?
Thank you, John. That was very informative. We do have a few questions. Hopefully we can address a couple now. If not, we will get to your questions via email after the webinar. You mentioned briefly that machine learning can improve deliveries. Is this something Bring offers? Where do you see the primary impact of machine learning?
So that's a great question. You know, if we look at oversized deliveries, for example, and I think maybe we'll have an opportunity to hit another question that we received also, which was asking about installation, added services, and return logistics for recycling. Every step of an oversized delivery, or most steps in oversized delivery, typically have a pretty significant time component, whether that's time to prepare the delivery and staging, time to load the truck for delivery, time in transit, time to find parking, time to offload the merchandise, install if needed, is there an elevator in that building, as well as time to reload the truck if you're taking returns. All of this needs to be taken into account. Machine learning, for example, can look at your historical data and build a more predictive model for how long each one of these stages will take. And the value of machine learning versus just a really experienced dispatcher is about scale and accuracy. An experienced dispatcher may know that installing this particular model of refrigerator or performing a specific type of service at the customer site, or even accepting a return of a refrigerator takes X amount of time. And because the machine learning rather than a dispatcher can take into account every consideration. They can take into account the average traffic along this route on that day, how long the average delivery of this specific model takes, how long deliveries with this driver typically take, how long it typically takes to find parking. Because we're sitting in a digital platform, the machine learning algorithms have the ability to learn how much time to allot to each stage in the delivery process. Now, what that means is we're removing a lot of those buffers and a lot of those guesswork. Naturally, businesses still need some buffers in their delivery flows. Drivers need some personal time, whether that's for a cigarette or a bio break. This is all normal. However, we've seen that when we start to apply this machine learning for businesses facilitating or offering oversized deliveries, they're typically identifying about 30% additional capacity beyond what they additionally believed they had. Now, if we put that into context, that means that for every $100 being spent on delivery, there are an additional $30 of resources that were not properly utilized. That means that you can be delivering far more with the resources you already have and potentially bring your costs as well as your delivery windows down.
Thanks, John. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, so we'll just answer one more question and the rest we'll answer via email after the webinar. If a carrier or driver currently utilizes their own handheld devices, how does the solution integrate with that? Would it be a separate device or app?
Sure. So the vision of delivery orchestration is that we both work with everything you already have and we help you stand up new capabilities that you may not have. So in this case, if there's a driver, if there's a fleet that currently uses, let's say, they already have a system for barcode scanners and they want to use those barcode scanners, that's great because that gives you real-time visibility into your chain of custody. And we will integrate with that to make sure that we have that data within our system. At the same time, if somebody already has their own, let's say, driver app that's running on a mobile device, an Android or iOS device, we can integrate with their platform to receive the data from it. If they want to augment the capabilities of that platform, everything built within Bring has what we call the open delivery cloud built in, and that means it's available as APIs and SDKs. So you can add those capabilities to your customer app, to your business or consignee app, as well as to your driver app. And lastly, if the business doesn't yet have a driver app, we have a very robust, full-featured driver app that supports every possible flow. It's fully customized for each business and tells each driver exactly what they need to know at each stage of the delivery. So we're very flexible because we're using this platform-based approach to working with the technology you already have, to augment the technology you already have, and to offer an alternative if that's something that will help your business.
Thanks, John. Like I said, if we weren't able to get your questions, we will answer you privately after the webinar. To everyone joining in, I hope you found this webinar useful. Tomorrow, you'll receive the webinar recording via email if you'd like to watch it again or share with others in your organization. You'll be prompted shortly to answer a few short survey questions. Thank you and have a great day.